Good morning. I'm applying for the program manager transition position at the CCSF Universitas Indonesia. And based on my understanding for the just transition framework, I will answer the questions. And my understanding for the figure in my own words, in developing countries, including Indonesia, law in action is weak, and there are local mafias and maklar. So when one of the just transition framework, which is a displacement, happens, the communities often receive far less compensation than they should, and that means the development leaves people behind, which actually should not happen in the first place, as it is not sustainable. The pillar number two is actually stated. So my job as program manager will operationalize those standards, and it means that I'm going to budgeting for the social safeguards from day one, and also scheduling community engagement before any physical work, and also coordinating with researchers and local governments and donors. And I will also monitoring the compliance against the nine standards monthly. And without these operational steps, then the framework is just going to be a document. And my role is to turn it into deliverables. And for the question number second, in the context of Indonesia's energy transition, minerals and sustainable critical minerals, what priorities I need to emphasize to ensure equitable, inclusive, and resilient transition? Well, there are three priorities. The first for me is the financing and the feasibility, and the second is the social and cultural ownership, and the third is the environmental standards. And so for the priority number one, and we need to manage the budgets and donor requirements, and we need to know the economic feasibility, social feasibility, and also environmental feasibility of every project. And there is no budget for the social and environmental standards, then those standards will not be reached. And as program manager, I will coordinate with CCSF UE team to allocate resources properly, and also I will ensure the project deliverables align with donor schedules. And the third is I will make contingency budgets for the social risk, like displacement, grievance mechanisms, and also training. As the financing is not just about the infrastructure, but it must cover the entire ecosystem of the standards. And for the priority number two, it requires stakeholder coordination and socialization. As Indonesia itself is not an individualistic nation, it has strong community culture, and we need local people to take care of the energy transition as part of their culture, not because donor forces them. So as the program manager, I will strengthen the communication between project teams and the local communities, and I will also ensure the benefit sharing agreements formalized in writing. And I will run the socialization campaigns to lower social risk. And I will also make the energy transition as the cultural heritage, not a donor project. And the challenge is capability, as many local people lack technological skills. Some may feel excluded, and it could be also have a political factor or ideological factor. That is the real operational risk. And so I will supervise and support capacity building programs, and I will partner with local polytechnics to certify workers, and I will have more budget if there is any, as long as I can justify the return on investment to the donor. And for the priority number three, for the environmental standards, we need to keep them intact through compliance monitoring. So as program manager, I will ensure the AMDAL or equivalency is completed and approved, and I will monitor the compliance against environmental standards monthly, and I will report any non-compliance to the donor immediately. And the environment should need to be able to live the people, and not because the people live for the because the people live the project already. Yeah, that is how I will ensure the equitable, inclusive, and resilient transition for Indonesia as the program manager at CCSF. Thank you.